we'll have a chance to get to the tape. I felt like we had a little bit more juice today, just being out on the field. We kind of talked about it last night. I was real pleased with the 2 days we got with the Rams in that, before you ever start, there's certain things you hope for. And I thought both clubs did a great job of handling the drills. And I thought the teams and the players did a good job of, we get better when we do this. First off, we see other schemes, other thoughts, kind of stimulates, your think tank a little bit. And it also, I think, it changes the routine up. You're getting more. Those are a lot of team snaps. I don't know if we tallied them up. We're over 120 team snaps, and so that's huge when it comes to the evaluation process. Just more information. So, any questions? No, it's a hamstring. He'll get an MRI. We'll kind of see where he's at with it, but nothing more. Yeah, it would be way too early to say. I mean, typically in our system too, we're bringing receivers in and out. But he plays Z. He plays in the sub position for us. And look, we have a lot of guys. Hopefully, it's not anything long term. He was better today. I think he's making progress. This field's a little slick, and he changed up his shoes today, and I thought that helped him. If you're in the molded shoes, you can actually walk out there and see a lot of you see it on tape, a lot of players sliding. So we got into a little bit longer cleat, and I think he had better footing. But, yeah, he's doing well. It's good to have him getting all these practice snaps, these punt returns, and he'll play quite a bit on Saturday.
What is Kendall showing out there?
Well, he's smart. He's savvy. He's one of those players who's got a good feel. I think he locates and tracks the ball well. He knows who he is. He's better, I think, in the slot and some of those interior option routes. But the first thing I think of is he's got real good football instincts.
What are your thoughts on Michael Van?
Yeah, it's too hard right now. We'll keep evaluating him. Hopefully, we get enough reps. It would be way too early. Yeah, I was here for the first game ever at this stadium. I think it was Monday Night Football. It was the day before 9/11. Giants versus Denver. I think Ed McCaffrey suffered a fractured leg in that game. After the game was over, back then we didn't really know the sleep study stuff. We flew back and landed in Newark at around 7 a.m. Our normal protocol then would be just like here. We'd bus to the facility and the players would go home. The plane pulling out next to us was the plane that went down in Pittsburgh. The passengers took down. We got to Giant Stadium. Players went home. We began working on Green Bay. That was who we were going to play. And, shortly thereafter, on the news, we saw it. Then we actually climbed up the stadium, and it was only really 2 miles as the crow flies, across the river, and there's Manhattan. So that was, something you never forget. But it was, I think, the first official game. They played preseason game. That was the first regular season game in this stadium. We played here. For all of us that are new, where do we park? The locker room. I've had a chance to go down and visit and just see the facility, and it's all part of this preseason, right? Just getting through some of the logistics. 2006, we didn't have any preseason home games. And our first home game was week 3. So we're kind of, there's a team full of new players that have never been to the Superdome, and we're explaining the traffic and where you go. And players have to be there 2 hours before the start of the game. And, everyone's in the locker room except Breeze. That's a problem. And he's stuck in traffic, like on Highway 10, 20 minutes away, and then they finally get some sheriffs there to help him through the traffic, and he gets to the stadium, and the players kind of came in a ramp into a garage parking. You guys have all seen like the clearance 7 feet, and it's a ramp, and he had one of these old Toyota Land Rovers, and he pulls in and his roof gets stuck in the parking garage. You can't make this up. He leaves the keys in the car wedged in the cement concrete building and then runs down the hallway, and I'm sitting there, and it's like right at 2 hours, and I'm like, glad you could make it. And now I'm just a mess now, because I'm like, he's 4 hours before the game normally, so I'm like, all right, what part of his routine is getting tossed? So you don't take any of that for granted. And so we've actually tonight we have a meeting on the parking, when to be there, traffic patterns, all those things that if they can happen with your starting quarterback, it certainly can happen with any coach or player on the roster. So, but it'll be good to play in front of our home fans and, get a feel for our locker room. And, we all like routine. So once you do it, then you can feel like you're used to it. So I look forward to it.
What's your plan for Purcell and K1?
Yeah, we'll discuss it tonight. We're going to discuss the roles. Purcell will be smart with him coming back. So we haven't had that meeting yet.
What's your feeling on the overall conditioning fitness of football?
I think good. Look, we've conditioned hard. I think yesterday was a little bit more, I would say, flat than. I think we're in good shape. And I think today we had a little bit more juice. Like I said, I was encouraged. Fair question. There may be a few, because it's a little trickier than just saying, all the starters aren't starting or playing, but you do have to play 4 quarters, and you don't want a certain half of your roster, getting 60 snaps and risking injury either. So we'll have that meeting tonight.
This predates you last year. It was the most injured team, or maybe the second most injured. When you have guys going out, I know it's football. How do you
I think
stop that mindset? Oh, here we go.
someone wrote the other day, and you guys asked me the question. I'm pleased with where we're at. We've had 2 significant, obviously, an Achilles and an ACL, but I don't. It's just me. I don't believe in being snake bitten, or, I think we've had a really good off-season program. Bo and these guys have done a great job of we've a number of players now all coming back in, Justin and Glynchy, and you're going to see these, all healthy and ready for Las Vegas. I think that's, if you looked around and you truly tried to analytically evaluate the other 31 teams, I think you'd see that, and I can't speak for a year ago where we were at this time, but I don't feel anything unusual. You want to stay healthy, but, and the soft tissue ones are the ones that I feel a little bit more like, we got to, those are the ones that are preventative more than, like the Achilles that happen structurally on air, or those are the ones you work to improve on.
Will Russell play this weekend?
Again, I don't want to answer that, because I'd rather answer it entirely with when we've had this meeting. Yeah. Thank you.